And there it is. I believe we're live, ladies and gentlemen. So it's been a little while since we've had a good live chat on Uninformed State of Mind. So tonight we're going to be talking about what everybody's been talking about, certainly for the last few weeks anyways, pretty well solidly, when everybody got the infamous email from YouTube talking about the demonetization and, of course, the rules that are going to come along with that. So we've offering this link to anybody who wants to jump on the panel. Okay, if you want a link, just say something the outside and grab it up, and we'll send it to you somehow. And like I said, you can grab it and jump in, of course, and of course, otherwise participate in the outside. So on the panel inside, pretty cool. Haven't had this kind of actual panel. Never had all these guys together in one particular group, so this is really cool. Mark, of course, Scouting Free. Good to see you tonight, sir.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Glad to be back on Famous ISOM. It's alive.
I don't know how famous it is, but it's live, that's for sure. So, of course, we also have Mark, GrooveX, of course. Sir, good to see you.
Good evening, everybody. Well, it's been quite some time, right? So I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, like I said, we've talked, like I said, probably a few years ago, and in that time you've had a lot of changes, certainly, but it's certainly good to see you. So, and of course, Vinny, VG, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, thank you, and I hope no one believes a single word I'm saying and has a look at the after effects of their own beliefs.
Well said, sir. Well, like I said, I know Vinny certainly from over the G Mangoes chats, and like I said, I think Vinny, you're a smart fellow. There's no doubt about it, and it's good to have you certainly on Uninformed State of Mind. So here we are. We've got certainly a few people that are tuning in on the outside. What we're looking for is if you're tuning in, go ahead and share that link. Get it out to as many people as you want. And like I say, it's always good to see people out here. Like I said, and it'll take a little bit, but we'll pick up some speed as we go along. I'm almost sure of it. It's not going to slow us down on having the chat though, so we'll go ahead with that. Hidden, it's good to see you out there. It's been a little while certainly, so good to see you. G, I see you out there as well. And yeah, that's it. So this is it, guys. The big topic. People are just seem to be really quite livid. As a whole, people don't seem to be very happy with this big change. So which one of you guys knows the actual rules that have been put out really well that can articulate that?
Well, to sum it up, it basically was like that. When you reached 1,000 subscribers, you actually were ready for monetization with YouTube. Once you hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, you basically got the email where they said, now you're ready to get monetized for ads and all the other stuff, and you can join YouTube partner programs. And that's what it used to be like. Now there came a new announcement beginning January. And it was basically announced at YouTube blogs some months ago. It didn't come right out of the blue. So they said, we're going to change the rules for smaller channels. And that means you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, but you also have to have at least 4,000 or 6,000, is it 4,000 or 6,000 hours of watch time a year? 4,000 hours of watch time a year before you get monetized. And it has nothing to do with the demonetization due to violating the rules of YouTube, like, cussing, nudity, extremism, and all that stuff. That has nothing to do with that. They made a change and said, unless you're not at least at 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in a year, you're not going to get monetized anymore. And suddenly all hell broke loose. Many people just said like, oh my gosh, I don't get my money, and I am the creator, and how are they treating us, and all the other stuff. Before getting into the details, I think one thing we have to have in mind is, before we come to the economy part of this, when YouTube started out, it was a nice and dandy playground for everybody, and everybody had nice intentions, and everything was like la la land, and everything was wonderful. And this is the spirit that everybody had if it came to YouTube. And I think they started in 2006. At least when Google took over, everybody with a little common sense should have already knew that this is going to become serious business, hardcore business, and therefore there's no time for playing around anymore. That's what I want to say. If you talk a look about monetization and all the other stuff, because now you want to, if you want to get money from a company that is involved with Google and all the other stuff, the rules going to be tough, and you got to play with them, or you got to make up another plan to get your money. So that's what I want to say on the history. By fact, it's right this, that many small channels are now complaining and say, this is unfair. We are the creators. Why don't we get paid? Why do others get paid? And this is where the whole discussion starts. And I'm going to grab me coffee, going to be back in a second, and you're going to take on this.
No, definitely go out there. Anybody else want to weigh in on there before I shoot a little bit there?
Fully agree with that statement. Let's just be real about this. Google is a money machine. It is there for its sole intention and its shareholders. It is there to progressively move forward. When I started YouTube myself, 2006, the concept of grabbing a video camera, learning editing, having fun with multimedia platforms, and just learning new skill sets and not having any other expectations than just to look at my final product and say, wow. However, when YouTube got acquired by Google, as it did, you would be a fool, to be honest, to think that that's how it was going to stay, and we're all going to be famous, because the reality is, to become famous, you must put the hard yards in. You must have creativity if you want to be called a creator. You must come up with different concepts, and you must forfeit any thinking of money to be a true creator.
I absolutely agree on this. Very well said, Vince. Let's put it this way, and I just want to give some examples. First of all, I have 2,700 something subs, and I don't monetize my channel. For one reason, I never expected to get paid for what I do on this channel. And you have to have this in mind. I'm a professional videographer. I actually work together with Mark. And for the content that I create professionally, the work I put in there to get cash money is way different to what I do on my channel, because on my channel, I just take the GoPro, run through the woods, and do what I like because it's a hobby. And I share it with people I like. That's all it is. I don't even expect to get paid for that, what I do, because from a professional point of view of work and time, and Mark and I, the last project we were working together, it is a 3.5 minute music video. How long did we work together on this? 2 weeks?
2.5,
yeah,
almost 3.
Almost 3 weeks, and therefore we got paid. And this is my perspective as a professional. So what I do on my channel here has nothing to do with professional video making. But what I want to say is this, and I basically, let's put it this way. I'm just going to give you an example. About 5 years ago, when I got on YouTube with my outdoor channel, I met Carlisle195 from Great Britain, and everybody knows him. He's a great guy. And when I met him, he had about 3,500 subs, and he's a nice guy. I really love him. Now he has about 50,000 subs, and he gets a decent amount of money, or he gets some good money from monetizing his channel. So, and why is this the case? And I'm just going to make the calculation for here, do the math. The last 3 years, Carlisle was out in the woods at least every weekend, spending there 24 to 48 hours every weekend. And not only running through the woods, he was building hundreds of shelters. He built an own debris village. He ran into the woods with about 60 pounds of gear and cooking gear to cook turkey and all the other stuff there. And he did this every fucking weekend and put out a video. This guy spent at least, and if you break it down to minimum, he spent at least 24 hours a week on work that he put in his channel. And he created something amazing, which is his debris village. His shelters made out of debris. He had a great idea of doing his cooking because he is a chef, and nobody tells me I don't have the time to do so because he was a chef and he did this full time. So as soon as he got out of the kitchen, he went out in the woods. Then he did his editing, and then he's actually always responding to the people on the channel. So Carlisle actually puts about 24 hours minimum a week of work in YouTube. And now he's up to 50K. Anybody who is now complaining that he's get demonetized, take a serious look, and I'm including myself too, at your channel and make an educated guess how much hours of work you are putting in your channel. And honestly, I do this for fun. If I want to go out, I do something. If I want to show something, I do it. It's all right. But I come not to 24 to 48 hours a week just for YouTube. This guy deserves his sub because he is pushing hard. He's creating a great individual content, and he rose in the last 5 years from 5,000 to 50,000 subscribers by putting shitloads of work in this. And there are other channels who do a great job. So anybody who is not at least working as hard as these people, please do not complain that you do not get monetized. And then I make the point back before I stop it. You have to have in mind that YouTube is a company that wants to make money. And AdSense is going down the bin. It is brutally hard to make money with AdSense. So now YouTube has to make sure that the people, the companies who are willing to put AdSense on videos get the best output with the highest reach that is there. And if you only make videos once or twice a month that have about 100 or 200 views, this is not the best place to put your ad. You want to put your ad to somebody who has about 10 to 15,000 views at least and more, and who is actually has a huge followingship. That is what you do in a business sense. And if you don't do so, then you're a stupid company. And this is all why they changed it. And one last word. Many people who got this, oh, I just need 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. There are some channels out there, I know it, I've seen it. And because they don't click off their Google Analytics, not very smart if you don't do that, who fucking buy 500 to 1,000 subs like this just to get over the border, having 1,000 subs and then getting monetized. That is what I gotta say.
Well, for me, when I hear you talk, I agree for 100%. My first question would be actually if you're in the game for the money or for the fame, or are you in the game because you're following your passion? And when your passion is at the first spot, and which is your driving power, your motivation to get everything going, then success will follow by itself, because you're willing to put all the time into it, and you're willing to put all the effort into it without getting anything back, without expecting anything, without feeling entitled to fame or to being the next Casey Neistat, because your editing is up to par and you're also cinematic, and you now bought a Canon DX Mark II, and that makes you now the perfect new YouTube star, and all you're doing is copying, not putting in the effort, but you're sitting there and waiting. And now what I see with the whole discussion about the demonetization, before it really starts to hit you or it starts to affect you, probably you will be further on down the road and have a lot more subscribers before anything starts to really damage you business wise. Because that's another question you've got to ask yourself: are you in it to start a business, or are you in it to have a passion and to find some channels to get your creativeness out there?
Oh, very well said. Because what you said is 99% of the people out there are just doing what they like, or let's say 90%. There are many people who just watch YouTube videos and think like, oh, I can do that too. And then what you said is right. They're copying. Yeah, I'm going to be the next really big monkey one. I'm going to be the next Casey Neistat. I'm going to be the next PewDiePie. No, those people have done it first. They created a niche, a gap. They jumped into it. They filled it. They did hard work. And that is nothing where you're going to jump in unless you don't fill in another gap, create a gap on your own, or get another twist that is interesting for people. No, you ain't gonna make money. And once again, this entitlement that people think they actually have to get paid for what they do there, it's pissing me off. I mean, and really, first of all, you don't pay a single dollar for being on YouTube. You know, this is a platform that provides you with uploading, with editing software. It provides you with a social network, with all that stuff that if you had to create it on your own would be a brutal job. And everybody who ever ran a website on his own, everyone who did that, tell me how hard it is to get at least a decent amount of views on clicks on your website on which you actually can start advertising. Yep. You know, so this has nothing to do with, and people say, yeah, I'm working hard for my videos. No, you don't. I'm serious. I don't work hard on my channel. To be honest, I have fun there. And yeah, go ahead, brother.
See, the working hard part is like, I fully agree. Now, a couple of big names were mentioned, Casey Neistat and all that sort of stuff. But you really have to look at those core values and what they are doing. They are loving life. They are enjoying life on video, and people like to see that they're enjoying life, but they forget that this is just them enjoying what they do. Patients to begin with, they were the ones who grabbed the camera, walked down the street, flew a drone, flew a kite, went on picnics, whatever it may be that they did. It was to stand up in the camera, to experiment with technologies. 3, have no expectations of it. And what people fail to understand is that when you do have fun, things can arise from that. For example, how many times in life have you seen people who started airbrushing t-shirts in real life, not YouTube, in real life, and they grew a business out of it? How many times have you seen people play with mechanics? A hobby, fun, and it all started progressively making money. But one thing remains: the dedication to having the fun and to putting in the hard work. I mean, if I was to get paid for everything I've done here in video editing, say the cameras that I have, the drones, the electronics, the lifestyle, whatever it may be, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I'd be on an island somewhere in the Pacific drinking pinatas. But I don't expect that. It's all in the part. Now, what I see out of this, I agree with the analytics side of things. I have seen people, I haven't seen it, but I know it goes on, that people actually buy views. But the thing is, one thing that remains in life that can never be disputed is logical calculations. So when you have a look at your analytics, and then you have a look at your videos and your views, and you try and mesh the things together, it makes no sense. And if people think that the algorithm isn't just about 1,000 views and 1,000 hours, they're right. It's not just about that. It's deeper than that. So it's going to have some form of control in reading this and making people work for their money rather than just sit there at their desk every day, sub to this, sub to that, sub to the, it doesn't work anymore.
Absolutely, and like I said, YouTube had hard times. Many people don't know that YouTube wasn't the flourishing business, and when Google took over, this became serious business too. So the one thing that is very important, and everybody who's now bitching about, oh my gosh, I'm losing my money, my $100-$200 a year, whatever it is. Seriously, if you are thinking of a business aspect of what you are doing, when you want to make money with your videos, how ridiculous is it to give full control to another company and then complaining if the company changes the rules? I mean, this is it. If, for example, I have to run my own website. I have to maintain my own website to make sure that if anything happens, that I have control over my business. Now it's like that. They all they use is, all free platforms. They use YouTube, they use Twitter, they use Facebook, they use Instagram, and those are the same people. Every time there's a change in these companies, they start whining. And it's not your business. It's not your platform. If you want to go at it with the business aspect, you have to change dramatically. And you don't only have to, and the big ones are showing it how it's done. Those people are having their own websites with their own shops and their own products that they sell and all the other stuff, because they cannot only rely on YouTube. YouTube is an advertising platform. And once again, everybody who thinks that he is entitled to get money from YouTube, getting in the kind of subs where you actually get relevant for YouTube, you need three things. Either you have a great personality and people love you for your personality, or you're delivering an awesome content which hasn't been there in that way, or you can combine both of it. If you have a great personality and deliver awesome content and jump in a niche that hasn't been there, you can actually become famous. But 99% of the people out there are copying and actually expecting to get paid for copying. And it does not work.
Well, you can never be better than the original. I mean, the original already set the standard, and when you're trying to be better than an original, you won't. You just won't, because you won't be him. And you won't be a Casey Neistat. And even just thinking about Casey Neistat, did you know that he didn't even monetize his channels before he had way over 100,000 subscribers? So there was nothing there. He did it for fun. And he posted even a video, I think it's a week ago, where he said that he started it for fun. He needed an outlet for his creativity. He needed an outlet for what he wanted to achieve and the people he wanted to reach. Yeah. And that's what YouTube is, in my eyes. If you really want to start a business there, then you got to approach it differently. But you got to put in all the grind and all the hard work. YouTube alone won't cut the cheese. I'm disagreeing even a little bit with you, Mark, on that. With having just a great personality won't get you anywhere these days anymore. You see it with people like Casey Neistat that really have to pay attention into cinematography, storytelling, because people are switching off. People are not interested in just hours of banter or filming his little girl when she gets a new piece of sweets.
Oh, well, there are still some channels who make money with that. I mean, take a look at Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan Experience podcast. It's about 2 hours, and this guy has hundreds of thousands of views where he's talking to people like, my God, Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I mean, he's talking to high profile people, but like I said, a good personality is always an advantage, but it's not a guarantee. And once again, I see it, unfortunately, on this, especially in the bushcraft community and the outdoor community. I actually think it is a good thing that this run for cheap money was broken down, because it's gonna swipe the floor, because there popped up so many channels that just said, oh, you can make money by reviewing something. You can make money. You can become quite popular by doing this and that, what others do. And we got flooded with gear reviews, and the industry jumped on it. Everybody did then suddenly, oh, I can get endorsed by ThruNite, by by Schrade, whatever it is. And then everybody got endorsed and everybody did the same shit over and over again. Here is my new Through Knight. Here is my new Schrade knife. And this is awesome. And blah, blah, blah. And it in the beginning, and because that is a retrospective view, in the beginning when I joined YouTube, the channels I joined and the community I got in was very diverse. Everybody had his strong points. Luke was into preparedness and prepping and what if scenarios, and others were into pure bushcraft. Others were in primitive skills, camping. You know, there was always something. But the last years, everybody who just figured out he can maybe get money became a review channel. And they did nothing but reviews on which I don't watch them anymore. I just go click away. And if somebody comes up every month, every week with another Through Knight lantern, Through Knight flashlight, or another Schrade knife, I'm sorry. And once again, there are people who started this and who are really good at this, like Outdoor Gear Review, Luke, or Prepared Mind 101.
But isn't the highest goal to become an influencer?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because then you get free stuff and people look up to you.
What people are failing to recognize also is, look, let's say 4 of us own Google, which owns YouTube, which owns AdSense. You know, we can tie it all together. It's there for everyone to say. Our main goal is going to be to plug the leaks where the money is running out unnecessarily. And these people that I now see that are bitching, you know, the communities and all that sort of stuff, they've come up with this concept that, you know, if we all watch each other, we can get our watch time up and all that sort of stuff. But it's not working that way. What it's going to require is it's going to be the snowball effect that they've put into the algorithm. They're going to require that the following year you even increase from your views from that, because otherwise you will get demonetized once again. So the bitching's never going to stop. The thing is, the attitude that I see that's being played now with leaving your computer running, watching playlists to get your watch time up, you have to weigh up, this is the stupidity of people. You have to weigh up the bandwidth usage for internet connection in doing this for what money? For $10 a month, maybe? And how many watch lists can you play? But the security in the algorithm is, I've seen algorithms being designed. They're going to try and protect intellectual property. Now, intellectual property is AdSense. If they can stop paying money that is unnecessary and they find that there's breaches in terms of services, which might be, I do not know, the same IP address, hitting the same playlist constantly, will that be seen as a breach? Will they get a shock then when their channel gets a strike? I mean, I'm just talking, being open-minded here, because I can see intellectual property. I can see a military-grade network protecting itself from all these avenues, because we're forgetting one thing at the end of the day. It's all about the shareholder at this point.
Yeah, these are all amazingly good points, and I can't really add to any of it, quite frankly. I go back to it is that I can go from my personal experience with, say, the General Banter channel, right, which was a channel that doesn't exist anymore. It got deleted for whatever reason. It was up over, I don't even know how many subscribers. It was in the thousands anyway, low thousands, only a couple of thousand or something like that. But it took me a couple of years to get there, without a doubt. And I was putting in probably, I don't know. I mean, if I was putting in 12 hours, you know what I mean, a week, I guess, in video content, maybe, right? Maybe, and that maybe excluding, you know, maybe not even that much, to be honest with you, because there's live chat certainly, but live chats, as far as I'm concerned, don't really count to it. I suppose it does, but like I say, it's, it took me a while. But I mean, how I did that was recognizing other channels, interacting. I built my channel up by and announcing other channels that I liked. It was called shoutouts, and that really helped me build my channel. But it was a community-based kind of idea, and that, I think I definitely contribute my growth to that, right? Being out there and putting the content out. And then I got better with, editing and such. Thank you, Mark. And, so on. So like I say, it's you got to start somewhere. And again, it's just a matter of how much work you want to put into it. So I'm just echoing again what you guys all just said. It's pretty interesting for sure. I'm just going to dive out to the outside here. HRM Weapons Machinist to see you out there as well. Like I say, we're just starting off here, and I appreciate everybody stopping in there. Go ahead and sharing that link out there to people so we can have a bigger, broader conversation here. But little Jenny, of course, little Jenny is probably she's one of the founding people, certainly, of the ISOM channel. And Mark certainly is another one of those. And again, Groove behind the scenes was helping certainly with a lot of the logo work and stuff like that. So like I say, it's definitely community oriented. And then again, I got into some live chats that helped out a little bit, but it's a passion. Why? This is the question I had. And if I was to say somebody, that if they were in a live chat and somebody said, well, hey, Luke, why did you start your channel? Or why did anybody start their channel? I can't think of anybody who actually started their YouTube channel saying, well, I started it because I wanted to be the next YouTube star. I don't know anybody. I'm sure there is, but who? I didn't do it. I mean, even General Banter Channel was one of the bigger channels of the two that I owned. It was ISOM that I actually monetized, mostly because I had a website. And I was thinking, if I could just get enough money to pay for that, that'd be cool. I had no idea. And for the lifetime of my channel, even the year that we were pounding it every week, no.
And just to chime in there, brother, when ISOM started, it was not just getting out there and bullshitting on a chat. That was brutal work. We got together in pre-chats. We're discussing the topics. We're setting up the questions. We were working on your website, on the logos, on the channel trailers, on all that other stuff. And ISOM was rising. And that was an awesome time, and it was a legit thing. And it was all fine, but we put a lot of work in this, but not because we said we're going to be the next, whatever, Alex Jones or something like that. No, because we thought that is something that needs to be spoken about, and we need to address it. And if we only reach one person with what we do, it's going to be cool, and that's how it worked out. And like I said, I completely understand YouTube making these cuts, because there are millions and millions of channels out there who pop up every day with basically the paste and copy idea and basically watering the market. They cannot work effectively anymore. And therefore, it's absolutely fine for me that they say, okay, you got to reach a certain barrier and get across it for that you become relevant. Like I said, the people who are making money on YouTube, if you take a look at them and who have the decent amount of subs and a decent amount of views, just go to these channels and don't really think that those people are just sitting in front of their webcam and doing something. Even those, in my humble opinion, ridiculously stupid beauty channels, where a girl dressed up nicely, whatever, says, today I got me the new Effitan spray, and I want to test it out. I got it for $20 to 30, and oh, it really feels awesome. I don't give a fuck if people like it. She's doing a great job. That's what it's all about. And those people are not just sitting there because they are really making up their mind how they set up their background. They make up their mind how the lighting is. They make up their mind what camera they use. They make a lot of editing. I mean, it was YouTube, honestly, who invented the jump cut or reinvented the jump cut in cinematography. Before that, the jump cut in professional cinematography was something like bad editing. Now it is common sense to use jump cuts. And but these people are taking a lot of time and effort in preparing, getting the stuff together, even using product placement if it's not allowed, or if they do so, they know who to contact and how to do that stuff. Those people are not sitting there for just half an hour and talking about a new toothpaste. There's a lot of more work, and it's regular work, and it's going every day, or every 2 or 3 days they come up with something. And they are also working on other social networks and doing all that cross promotion here and there. It is not like you think. Like I said, if I go in the woods and I make a review about a knife that I just purchased and I have my fun with it, it's fun time. Yeah. And I think, just to make a point, I would say I'm going to make one day a professional outdoor video. I'm going to take my professional equipment. I'm going to be in the woods for 4 days and make you a 5-minute hardcore outdoor clip, just to show you what it looks like if you really put effort in it. I know I ain't going to get views for that, because nobody really cares what I'm doing in the woods, and that's all fine.
Well, like you said, there's a balance, isn't there? I mean, it's a balance between, the time that you spend, the money that you're going to spend on it, and be reasonable. If you're going to spend that kind of money on it, certainly when you've got under 4,000 subscribers, let's just say, even Jesus, under 10. I mean, the idea is that, well, even not so much the subscribers, but imagine if the view time that you have, that should dictate whether or not you're going to put it in there and expect a return, so don't do it for that basis, right? Do it because you're marketing, you've already got those tools at your hand because that's your profession. But you can get some, reasonably cheap equipment that's still pretty good equipment and still make phenomenal videos, but you're going to have to put the time in to do the editing, certainly, and have those considerations. One other thing, you were talking about the jump shots. That's just it. You have to be able to figure out what exactly it is that you're doing with the editing, right? I mean, Mark had brought this up to me back when I was doing my general banter channels and talking about the educational stuff, about, what your survival mindset is or whatever the case was. He said, your videos are great informed, you know what I mean? Great informed videos. The problem is that, we said it here tonight. It's a matter of basically droning on, right? On and on and on and on and on. Eventually, there's some people who are just not going to want to come back because they know they're in for a 12-minute drone on from Luke talking about survival, and half of which, or 3/4 of which, or 75% of it, certainly I already know. So it's a good video. I like Luke, I like to support his channel, but can't give him the whole view time because 12 minutes, man, it's a long time to listen to that. And he was right in that sense. So it was a matter of me trying to figure out, well, how do I do that? There's people out there who've got it figured out. There's no doubt about it. All right?
Yeah. And there's also people out there who... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I like the conversation because anyone who's listening to me, and I don't profess to be nothing, I'm just an idiot down here in Australia. Where I got my view time from what I want to learn from YouTube. So I watch people's videos, but I watch video watching for the video editing. Across Philip DeFranco, the master of jump cuts. I thought, this guy is doing jump cuts for one reason. His videos are very, very lengthy. Try and edit them on one spot. Now just that jump cut thing that I learned, I had one teach me. So I watched people's videos, watched their editing skills, them a like and everything, and told them I was there, but I wasn't. And rather than putting play on and walking away from your computer, hard if an idiot like me did it.
And yeah, it's on one hand it's not hard. On the other hand, the problem with the people who actually think, or let's say it like this: there are people doing their channels and suddenly they smell money, and then they change their whole concept. And because they take a look at their analytics and they see, oh, I got 4,000 views on this, I got 10,000 views on that, so I'm gonna stick with it. If they are actually able to reproduce that, kudos to them, really. kudos to them. If they really know this is needed, I'm going to deliver what is wanted. That is the first right step to become professional. You know, because you, but on the other hand, and if I take a look, I have videos that have 60,000 views, and I have videos that have 220 views. Why? Because with one thing, I hit a topic or something that is interesting people, and on the other ones, I hit a topic that is not interesting or is not this controversial. So if I was eager to make money on this, I wouldn't do the things that I do on YouTube. I wouldn't do another overnighter video. I wouldn't do another video like how to store your gear or whatever that gets maybe 200 to 250 views. No, I would stick with bashing on ultralight gear. That gave me 60,000 views. Okay, I would continue with that. And there are people who think, okay, now I'm going to jump on this and I'm going to do that the same way. Just a minimal percentage of people who are able to reproduce successful strategies.
That's it. The strategies. Go ahead. Sorry.
I feel we're in kind of a transition phase of YouTube, where YouTube is becoming this mass medium where everybody who owns a smartphone even can go and create his own videos, and can, like with these days smartphones, you have 4K videos with color grading and even D-Log, professional camera, everything, and everybody can make it. And I've seen a transition like that in history. As some of you might know, I did desktop publishing, and I also do music. So I do music producing and mastering and mixing. And I've seen the same mechanics of it in those areas. When computers became more popular, people started to play with Word. And so, see, I can make my own newspaper. I can make my own postcards. I can make my own greeting cards. But what people forget is, it's an art. It's an art. It's like music is an art, video is an art, delivering information, entertainment, everything is quite an art. And when your passion drives you, you will succeed in it. But when it's just a calculated thing where you just think you're entitled to receive money because you're the smartest and the brightest, you're probably not going to make it.
That's right. You're bang on right. That's true for sure. Sandra B, you just joined us there. Good to see you, Sandra.
What's up?
Not too much. Talk a little bit about the demonetization there. You have any thoughts on that?
Let's see. What are my thoughts on it? I think it's complete bullshit, because it's disadvantaging the little people on YouTube who are trying to make it work versus the ones like fucking the idiot Logan Paul and shit like that. Slap on the wrist for every time they do something wrong.
True. Do you think he knows the ins and outs, how to play the system in it?
I think he does. I think he plays up on it and he knows what he's doing. Because if not, he would have done what he did. And now what he wants to do is donate $1 million to suicide prevention just to say sorry, thinking that he's going to get on people's good graces and forgive him for stuff that he's done. But I don't think it's really, from him. Actually, I mean, it's from him, but not really like, hey, I'm sorry, this is why I did. I don't think it's sincere.
Well, the thing is, right, about that, I would like to interject. Sorry, Sandra. Hi, Sandy, by the way.
Hey,
all right, so let's look at media TV. Do you see dead bodies? Do you see dead bodies or what? You see what? I don't know what the difference is between YouTube and there's the word that always comes up. Yeah, I don't think that aspect of it, because okay, I'm not even going to mention what he was filming and showing, something that is regularly seen.
Yeah, but
that's all.
I completely
Pause for 1 second there. Vinny, because maybe it's because you're on the other side of the planet. I'm not really sure. But do me a favor, not because I don't like seeing your pretty face, but it might improve your broadcast. You're choppy, and it's we're not getting your whole conversation. Just try to go ahead, maybe just take your picture off, take your camera off. It might improve your bandwidth just a touch. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
All right. What VG was just saying is, yeah, TV is playing to completely different rules like YouTube. YouTube has become the most PC and social justice warriors place on earth. And YouTube is a company that is setting up the rules. So if YouTube says you're not allowed to cuss, you're not allowed to show violence, you're not allowed to show nudity and all the other stuff, that's what YouTube says. And YouTube is a company because, once again, they are not really in control about where the ad's going to be put. And if a company says, I don't want to be put in an advertising of somebody showing dead bodies hanging in the woods of Japan, then they have a problem. So I wouldn't compare it to TV. But once again, Logan Paul is one big example that you put up there, Sandra, and I get that. But on the other hand, I don't see it like screwing the little people over, because the little people, if they are small in views and small in subs, they are not really relevant for the companies that are putting their ads there. And as a company that YouTube is, they have to make sure that the AdWords they sell come to the right people or to the right views. And therefore, I totally agree with YouTube if they say, at least you got to have 4,000 hours a year, and at least you have to have 1,000 subs before we can actually work with you, because then you're getting relevant. And I always come up with the same example that is like, if you are, and that is the problem. We have a huge, vast amount of people who call themselves creators. And like Mark mentioned before, he's right. Everybody who has a cell phone or a computer suddenly can call himself a videographer, a creative, a musician, because it's very easy to come out with something. But if you, for example, run a gallery and you're a gallerist, and there's somebody coming to your gallery and says, hey, I just painted some pictures in my basement, and now would you put it in your gallery? And the guy is kind enough to do so. And then you come back, and after a year, he says, "Sorry, I ain't gonna waste my space and my money and my time on an exhibition with your content because it doesn't sell." Then you don't have to start getting whiny. It's like, if you do not create something that is getting enough attention to be valuable for the company, for the gallerist, and for the customers who are willing to buy and go in there and pay the money for the heating, for the light, for the gallery, then you are not relevant. And too many people who are not making enough good content that is creating the amount of views needed are actually now in that situation that they say, oh, I don't get my money. No, it makes absolutely sense.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do. I also agree with Vinny, because when Vince, he says that you see all this stuff on TV and stuff like that, I do agree with that, because you see so much death and violence and whatever on TV and on different websites and stuff like that. But the way he did it, the way he went about it was wrong.
Well, that was calculated. I mean,
was calculated,
for 100%, it was calculated. He edited the video. He put a thumbnail up there. He chose the thumbnail picture. He added the title even.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. You're saying that, okay, in order to make the content, they want you to make sure you have enough followers, you have enough views and stuff like that. That I do agree with. The only thing I kind of don't agree, there's certain things I don't agree with, like, okay, everyone, like, so many women do makeup tutorials, which are shitty, and those people are getting paid for it because they have the views. I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, but I think YouTube really needs to buckle down on certain subjects, because you don't see, like, everyone's like, oh, there's so many preppers out there. No, if you actually look at it, most of the things that are getting paid for are fucking makeup tutorials.
Oh,
Both.
I totally agree with you. But once again, it is the views that count. And if there are millions of young girls liking what this woman does there, this is what matters. And I do agree with you. For me, these are the most pointless videos ever. And there are other videos out there where I just scratch my head, like
Yeah.
Logan Paul. I mean, Logan Paul itself is for me something where I say, like, really, this is what yeah, but PewDiePie, you know, PewDiePie started it, and he became really, really famous for doing what he does. And we don't have to agree with the content they bring up, but in the end, it is always the views that count. That's the only USP, the only unique selling point that really does matter. And if if there are, and don't get me wrong, just to finish my point, sorry, there are webcams out there on YouTube that actually just show a baby panda in a zoo, which get thousands and thousands of views. Easy money. But it works, and I'm fine with that.
Because they're cute and fluffy. Come on.
yeah, but
myself, I want to see more stuff about hunting and fishing and prepping and camping and outdoor stuff. That's what's interesting to me. You know, I want to see more of that. I want to see less of the 800-pound girl fucking doing makeup like fucking trying to pretend she's a fucking tiny Barbie doll.
And there goes monetization on this video, ladies and gentlemen. No, just kidding. I'm just totally joking. But this is a really valid point, and here it is. And I put this example out. Me and Mark were talking off here, and I kind of said it like this: if I had a big, rusty, old, you know, blowing black smoke out of this big cube van, and I went up to IBM or IBM, listen to me, if I was going to go off the Microsoft. Microsoft, and I was going to take basically this Microsoft and say, look, I'm going to put a billboard on the side of my vehicle. You pay me to do that, and I'm going to drive back and forth to work. It's the only place I take the van, and I'm going to advertise for you, right? But I'm going to do it for a really cheap price. They're probably not even going to even look at me. If I'd have said that I'm going to take the same vehicle and I'm going to travel from here clear across Canada, they might consider it because there's the amount of views that I'm going to get, right? Now, if I did this on the side of an Elon Musk, you know, electronic vehicle, right, and I was going to do the exact same thing, you can bet I'm going to get the sponsorship because the presentation is right, the thumbnails are correct, so to speak, the title is right, you've figured out these little things, you know what I mean? It's like Jarhead 6, for instance. I've watched Jarhead 6 or Daily Shooter, these two guys here, grow massively, and it's because they tuned into those little things and they put out daily content for the most part, right? Live shows included. They tuned into what people wanted to see, right? Because we've seen this absolute bullshit channels, you know what I mean? And they get hundreds of thousands of views on these things, millions of views, and we look at it and we think, okay, now look at it from what I do and producing a video, or a hunting channel producing a video, and it's garbage. But this is what people want. They want to zone out and just watch something funny, no thought to it really. It's just entertainment, strict entertainment. Now, branding says something, right? Recognizable branding says another. You know what I mean? And again, those little tiny things, those little tiny loopholes. So they don't really care as long as it's friendly advertising platform. That's what they're looking for, right? And to get those views, like Mark said. So yeah.
It's funny, like. I believe that joining, to me personally, I'm not telling anyone not to or to, like what is with this community stuff? I mean, here we have on the panel that are nowhere related to any communities as in towards one another, but yet we can come from different standpoints in life and have discussions. We view our channels and all that sort of stuff. Now, I made a video which actually shocked me. Some personal health issues, and I made the video, and it will reach 100,000 views this week. And of all things, I mean, I see the funny side in life. So I always say I made a video about arseholes, and it got popular. So I had hemorrhoids, and I offered up a simple, natural remedy. And it has gone, it will reach 100,000 views by the end of this week. All different peoples from all walks of life have viewed it. I make sure that I answer as many questions as possible. It's not a joke, it's reality. And I will not be part of any community. I want to be an open person, open-minded. I want to learn from people. Yes, but you might be a bushcrafter or a prepper or whatever it is you are. It doesn't mean that I have to be. I remain the person that I am. I remain who I am. I live my life. I show my life, and I do it for free. I don't expect anything out of it. Why I have my channel here.
Absolutely, but just let me make some notes. Okay, get me hemorrhoids for 100,000 views. No.
You have a look at my channel. It is my top. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it hits you out of the blue. You're like, what? Really? That is what people want to see? That is what they are discussing, where they're going crazy about it. And if you say, I can go on with this and I can make more out of it, okay, go for it. But I definitely think that you are not saying like, oh, I got 100,000 views. I'm gonna get me another disease or something that's gonna put up.
No, that's right. But that's right. What I'm saying was the diversity of my thinking, and to openly talk about an experience in my life. So I just got on there and opened up, and whatever be I ridiculed, be I liked, it didn't matter. It was still something that I wanted to do. It was my creativity with no expectation. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, true. And just let me go in the outside channel. My good friends and family, the Parker Riches, are there. And they wrote self-proclamation of YouTube stardom and shameless public excessive self-promotion is public masturbation.
and there goes the remaining dollars. Okay.
And that I say, which is quite disgusting to me, is the the amount of channels now that are formed with the sole intent, and they ruin it for a lot of people, is the e-begging. That they want to live there, expect other YouTubers to. I mean, to me, is just like, yeah, it's shameful behavior in a sense.
I'm absolutely with you. Now that people come up and say, yeah, donate me for doing that, what I'm doing, I'm honest. To donate something to somebody, and I am actually being a professional videographer, I can tell you pretty clear, because this here is my tax. This is my tax book that I gotta put in for the 2017 tax revenue. I have here about 550 euros of expensive for paid video content.
Why is it burning on the lower left?
Yeah. but this is it. There are people out there who are actually going on a sales platform where you can buy 17 hours of tutorials about a video software or about a special technique or whatever it is, and I'm willing to pay for that. In that year, I paid about $500 just for educating myself. If you are that good that you actually can, first of all, advertise to me that you are actually having a great content that ain't going to be accessible otherwise, and that I get it only from you in a high quality, then I'm willing to pay for it. Okay. So yeah. I paid this year about $500 for tutorials, for courses in video editing and all the other stuff on my own, out of my pocket, because I got something. Now, yeah. If you are actually sitting there and let's say you're basically sharpening a knife, which is a nice content, and you actually think that I should pay you for that, you better make sure that you come up with something that is so exclusive and so interesting and so well done that I ain't gonna get this information otherwise. Then I'm willing to pay you. And once again, there's YouTube Red, those pay channels. Yep. Yeah, take a look what happened to this. You know,
see,
go ahead.
I fully understand what you mean. Now, I've got a couple of videos I've got to make, which were part of my upbringing. Now, my parent, I'm not Australian born, so my parents are from Europe, and you know, they were children during World War II, where they couldn't buy toys. Now, my father taught me how to make the toys that he used to play with, and these are motorized toys, rubber bands and things like that, and they're quite interesting. Knows how to make them. I'm sure they'll do well, but I'm putting it off because I'm still, you know, I'm doing other things. But you said, if you're sharpening a knife and you want me to pay to view that knife, you better have a way of sharpening a knife that no one else can do it. You know, and the thing is, I have myself paid for video tutorials and software, and I will name the guy because he's an actual great editor, I believe, but his channel is all about educating people, and it's Video Copilot, and he actually professional at using the whole Adobe suite in video editing, whether it be Adobe Premiere, the sound editing, or the Adobe After Effects. Now, I paid for that. Why? Because I wanted to learn. Find that. So we actually formed a relationship. I didn't pay for subscriptions. He actually sent me a DVD collection. And it was all about learning. So I've actually invested money to get to this level, no returns. And why did I do it? Because I actually am doing it.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I think it's and again, if it shows that you enjoy it, you know what I mean, there's a difference. But here's another factor: to understand what people actually want to see, right? I mean, look, I went over randomly and I just checked out a channel, right, just to see. I wanted a big view count. This one here has just over 8 million views, okay, and it was published December 21st, okay, 2017. Has 350,000 subscribers, but that's 350,000 subscribers, right? But over 8 million. Now, what's the channel about? That's what it's called. It's called News Be Funny, and it's just about funny news, blooper reels, and such that are stolen. Okay, it's stolen tech, stolen, media essentially from everywhere together, and they put it up there. Now, this is an example of what people in the last month have wanted to see. How many? Well, at least 8 million anyways, right? And this is what they want to see. So how do you compete with that? Now, well, you can say, well, how do you compete with it? Well, I guess that's what you do, right? Now, a few of us people who want to talk about genuine things or even have a chat on not fake news, not, whatever. It's just, this is common sense, just a common sense chat. And I think this is the facts that we're stating out here are just common sense. They really are. And what will it get at the end of the day? It might get 250 views. I don't know. Maybe more. Maybe I'll be shocked. I don't really know. But currently we're sitting at about 14 live viewers, which is fine. This channel has been dead for some time, so that's almost expected to some degree. But like I say, this is the reality of YouTube. So am I going to complain? You know what I mean? No. Even if I had the General Banter channel and had well over 2,000 subscribers, would I have complained? No, I still wouldn't have complained because I'm doing something I like doing. I like interacting with the people, and I understand it for what it is. This is what it is. And can I be pissed about it? Sure, quietly, but I'm certainly not going to go on about it, like I am right now, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty much the same thing with people, in the music industry. And I was working for the radio for 12 years, and boy, you have no idea what I got sent as so-called professional music. And then there are people who made a CD or whatever, or uploaded it on SoundCloud and send it to me. And then they say, oh, why the hell didn't you get it didn't I get in your show? And I definitely had to tell them, sorry, it is crap. It is total crap. I can't do this to my viewer, to my listeners. I can't. And then they get outraged because that we did so much work on it, and we did, and we're so enthusiastic, and and I'm saying, like, please compare yourself to another band in your area and in your type of music. It is like, let's put it this way. I have here a fucking guitar, and out of 100 guitar players, I know I am the worst. I am the worst out of 100 guitar players. If you get 100 guitar players there, I am the worst. And I am not making some music, putting it on SoundCloud or on Spotify or whatever, and expect to get paid. I will get paid if I actually put out something that is creating a need. And if I don't do that, I can't complain. And I just want to quote the Parker Riches again, and that's a very good point. He says there, if someone opens a box and puts product in hand and says, I love this, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen, please give me a break. Exactly. Because these unboxing videos, for example, there are some people who came up with it, and who did a great job on it. They have a special way of doing it. But if you just put out a box and say, I'm going to do an unboxing and therefore I'm going to get paid and everybody has to love it. No, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't expect to take a knife and walk up to a hospital and become a surgeon. And then, like,
Damn,
I
why
have a
not?
knife now.
Damn,
Look,
why not,
that's
man?
like a lot of human. I like where the word entitlement being used here, because thing is like crap. Okay, so if you're going to make a video, the only opinion that counts and the only opinion that you should keep to yourself is that you are actually happy with it. If you want to put it out there, do it, but don't expect people to like it because you created it.
Yeah.
Entitlement overload.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I mean, the reality is, look, I mean, a lot of this, you got to be honest with yourself, right? I mean, I've been honest with myself throughout the entirety of it. I expect nothing, you know what I mean? I just don't. If I have a panel, you know what I mean, more than just myself talking to myself and more than just me talking to myself from the outside, well, then I guess it was a successful show if that's really all my expectations ever were. If it gets bigger than that, well, that's just fine. But if I really want it to grow, then I really have to do that work, and I understand that. I definitely, like I said, taken my time to build a channel. Really huge? No. Was it really spectacular? No, I don't think so. Was it good content? I think the content was all right. The delivery might have been better, right? But then I could have got better. Just like Vinny just said, you buy a program because you want to learn, right? You want to be able to learn and then make something better. And isn't that what it's all about, right? Yep. And then once you're really a superstar, you'll know, and you'll really feel that, you know what, I deserve this, And there's some out there like that news bloopers one. I guess. I don't know, man.
But let me give you just a real life example. When I started becoming a professional videographer, it was years and years of just doing something with video, and I wasn't really good. And some people gave me a chance. They wanted some little projects, and it took me 7 years until I came to the point where I actually could convince people to hire me and to do something. And the outcoming product, they said, I'm willing to pay you this and that amount of money. And I'm still there, and I have to fight on a daily basis with all the other competitors out there, which are not people who own $20,000 equipment. No, I'm competing with people having a cell phone and saying, I can do it for less money and I can do it better, and whatever it is, this is what I got to face on a daily basis. And that's the same thing with YouTube. You are competing. In Germany, we have a saying, if you want to bark, if you want to piss with the big dogs, you got to be able to lift your leg. Yeah. And that's exactly what it's all about.
Yep, Deutschland.
And it's funny that you say that, actually, because I just had a funny experience 3 days ago. Now, I have triplets. They're 16 years old now. And one of my daughters actually pulled out a whole stack of old DVDs from when they were around 5 years old. Now, bear in mind, so we're talking 11 years ago. Now, 11 years ago, if you think of the technology that was around, and all that sort of stuff, they showed me these movies. Now, I was experimenting with green screens and putting overlays and things like that, and they were little, and they showed me these videos. I go, Dad, do you remember this when we were kids? And they had dinosaurs chasing them and everything. Now, what technology has done has actually enabled the laziness in people. I mean, they didn't have to go through what I did, VHSC camera, to do what I did. Now they just grab a smartphone and think it's all good. But like you said, you want to piss with the big dogs, you better make sure you got balls and you can lift your leg.
Very well said. And that's what it's all about. It's one of the most competitive markets out there, YouTube. And don't start whining because YouTube is straightening up the rules to make it actually work. I mean, that is regular business. And if you started out as just a hobby and you just keep the hobby attitude, well, you're gonna get hit in your head. That's what it is. If I would have kept my hobbyist attitude in video editing, I wouldn't make my living of making videos today. I had to become professional. I had to make my own website. I had to step up the gear. I had to learn. I still have to learn. I still have to invest. And even if I say I need to get a new lens, I got to invest at least another $500, but it's not done with that. And that is what another thing that pisses me off, that people say, oh, I just bought me that great camera. Now I'm going to hit up my views because now I make great videos. Fucking learn your fucking camera. Sorry. Learn it.
Yep. And the thing is, what you're talking about, I fully understand where you're coming from. Now, it costs me $290 a year to have my own server and full control of it to run a website. Now, even if I run a website, yes, I can make a www.dickhead.com name up, but still that doesn't guarantee me that people are going to come. So what do I have to do for that? I have to pay for AdWords to actually try and increase the ranking in my website. I have to pay something to try and even get up there. I have to understand about search engine optimization. Now, that's something also that I had to learn. But see, my channel is nothing, but yet as a hobby, it's still something I like doing. And people don't understand the website and you want to relegate it to a YouTube channel, there's even more work for you. And instead of whinging,
yeah, that's a lot of it right there. And there was a YouTuber that was out that I sent an invite out to. They might not have got it. They might not be available. They might not be interested. Hard to say. But they brought up basically the YouTube, demonetization in the sense that they were a little bit pissy about it. No doubt about it. I get it. I do. But they also said I get why. I get why, but. There was still that pull to say, like kind of what Sandra had said in the beginning, it's kind of like screwing the little guy, it's like, hell, well, where do you think this all started from? But we have to go back to it. From what Mark had said, certainly at the very beginning, Scouting Free there, in the reality is that what was YouTube supposed to be, right? What was it supposed to be for YouTube, right, when the platform started? And I'm sure there was a projection that we can make money with this, right? But it was basically, to share yourself, if anything. And then they've said, hey, we're getting money. We're able to put, ads in your intellectual content. So, let's your intellectual property. So we're going to pay you for that, right? To put it over top of that and to maybe interrupt your video a little bit. And that was a pretty good deal. I think that was a great deal. But it's still their platform, like like Mark had said, certainly. And they can make those rules. And we shouldn't be surprised when the thing gets so damn big that they have to start saying, okay, we have to either have them active in 2 years, 6 years, whatever, so that, because think about the space. I mean, look what it is just to try to back up all your videos on just on a laptop, which has got a fairly, big freaking, drive for it. It fills up awfully quick. So we already know that Google has massive freaking buildings with servers and such. Yeah, exactly, Mark. This here is, some serious external drives to back all this up. But you're dealing with, you're dealing with some big files. And we know that they're making money, but that's what a business is supposed to do, just the same, right? And diversifying is the other thing that this YouTuber had said. He hasn't diversified, and he probably should have, putting his information out there, because there is, just like Mark had said, Groove here, certainly, that there's more and more people holding a cell phone. So now everybody's confident to go on there and make a video, whether it's good, bad, ugly, and that one that's just a random shot, stupid, someone just grabs onto, that's the one that goes viral. So they don't make a huge amount of money, but that one video gets them well over 1 million freaking hits. And if they happen to be big enough to get monetized, sure, they're going to get a paycheck on that particular, that particular one. It's all part and parcel. It's not, just kind of like Stan had said earlier, it is all part and parcel. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, and let me chime in there. Oh, sorry, Vince. Okay, what I want to say is this: I'm going to make a prophecy because it came out 2 weeks ago on TechCrunch, and they made an experiment. And the next hit that it's going to come is going to come on Instagram, because TechCrunch made a test, and they said how to become a social influencer on Instagram within 5 months. And they got up from, I would say, 500 followers to about 50,000 followers within 5 months. Why? How did they do it? They just used stock footage of people, of food, whatever it is. They used copyrighted material, put it up there, and got a huge following. And Instagram is going to jump into this. If you try really to trick the system, the companies will say, don't do it. And once again, and what you have been mentioning before, Vince, it is absolutely not okay to put up a playlist and ask your followers to let it run all night and day long to basically get your views up. Is it illegal? No, I don't think so. But for me, this is like the attitude of a frustrated little kid that says, I didn't get paid, and now I'm doing now I'm gonna trick the system. No. And by the way, like you said, Vince, before, very important. Do you really think the algorithms don't figure it out? If one IP is always running down on one playlist for 24 hours? No.
Yeah, that's right. And see, it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy. Now, I saw a couple of questions in the chat there, and one by Stan, and, see, there's these people now. I do believe that it's a leftist-run sort of system, aware that when these channels want to get political, they're actually putting themselves up for contention for some kind of strike. I mean, let's be real about this. But the thing is, your views, your opinions, and all that sort of stuff on your life is all that counts as far as I'm concerned, because it's been reiterated in this chat. I come here. One, I love the technology. I've had a camera in my hand. My first camera was a Praktika TL1000, a German-made 35mm camera.
Legend.
Then I moved to videography, and I wanted to learn editing. I like myself what I see. I don't care if anyone else doesn't like it. I share it. But I have no expectation, people. What I'm is to my channel and look at my video and leave a thumbs up. For that, maybe. I'm just saying, is there a reason? Yes, it can get busy. You don't have the whole time allocated to viewing everyone's videos, but everyone I subscribe to, I've subscribed for a reason. Hey, I liked it. It actually isn't bad content. And I will do my very best. But also, don't put the expectations to see me on your channel every single hour of the day, because I can't do that. This is for fun. This is a communication platform. That's all.
Yeah, and especially, you see some changes in some channels that I saw that were really, really legit and did some great stuff in the beginning. As soon as they figured out they can make money of it, they changed drastically. And there are channels out there where basically they said, oh, actually, in this video, I was out in the woods and I was wearing a very short tank top and my views ran up like crazy. So that's what I'm going to do the next time too. And then suddenly you see them girls running around in tank tops and bikinis and say, we are outdoors girls and all the other stuff, where you basically know they just do it for the views. And then they have the balls. I mean, not really, but they have the guts. They have the guts to make a video and say, how perverted are you that you are criticizing me for running around in the woods half naked? That is what I do. Yeah, girl, for sure. I actually know the area where you make your videos, and this is one of the most ticky area in the fucking German woods. This is basically poisoned with ticks. If you spend 1 hour with a tank top and hot pants in these woods, you're gonna be ticked out. You know, don't try to bullshit me. Don't try to bullshit me. But now, but brother, don't get me. Those girls, they get videos like crazy, and it's not just putting on the girls, but this is where the girls base. Some girls figured out there are some awesome girls in the outdoor world out there who don't play that game and who are legit and doing their stuff. But some of them got in the millions of views because they basically run half naked through the woods. If they want to do that, it's fine. If it works for them, it is fine. I do not bash them.
Who isn't walking in their high heels casually through the woods in their off time, you know?
Yeah.
So you're actually telling me my next video I should do the same?
Probably.
I would love to see that.
Well, I can tell you this, I'm going to watch.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah. And like I said, and I don't blame anybody who's doing that. I mean, what brings in the money brings in the money. Do it. It's fine. Do I have to watch it? No, I don't. You know, it's all cool. But, you know, once again, even those people who are doing something on their channels that is getting the attention, those are the people that are counting if we go at a business way. That's all that matters.
So here's the question then. What's the alternative? If you're upset with YouTube, and there's a few people that are upset with it. There's a lot of people, and something we don't think we've mentioned here tonight is Patreon. Patreon is this great big thing here that's going on over to it. There's super chats, right? What there is a kind of a neat little thing, I would say, and that's great if somebody wants to, you know, entertain and that idea of putting some money into a chat window or whatever, which I'm still kind of new to me, but I would almost feel a little weird about somebody sending it to me that, but hey, whatever. But here's a Patreon, right? You've got other YouTube type platforms, which well they can be because they're going to have to be very organized to be able to do it. Because again, we talk about the volume, you know, the data volume that's going to be in there. Holy shit!
I think the first thing. Sorry. Yeah. Well, you go ahead, Vinny.
There's a channel. I'll put in the chat, and the guy's called Suit Yourself. Now, I had the pleasure of being on his panel. We were talking to the chief executive officer of a company called, I'll put that in the site chat as well, BitChute. Now, BitChute is a new company operating out of England. We saw crash to the ground and burn. So BitChute is going to uphold free speech no matter what, as it is intended to be. It is a video platform where you open up a channel and you actually link channel to it. Now, what happens the minute you link your channel to it is you can actually directly contact working staff via Twitter and tell them that you've opened up your channel to transfer your videos across. So there is no re-uploading, there is no downloading or anything. This is an automated process, and it's all on a technology that is basically file sharing. It's increasing rapidly. It is free. They are monetizing. They are a free speech platform as well. The only thing they won't go against, obviously, is copyright of movies and music, but very well worthwhile having a look at. I've already been signed up for a while now. All my videos have gone across. I don't expect nothing from it, absolutely nothing from it. However, if something comes out of it, it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is new and it is growing.
Yeah,
no, that's true.
there are hundreds of alternatives how to actually monetize something. And like I said, if you take a look at the bigger channels or some other people, actually they switch from just making money out of the videos to actually selling products. I mean, take a look at Louder with Crowder. This dude started out and now he's selling t-shirts, he's selling the Crowder mug or whatever it is, you know. They have their own website and they have sponsors. You know, all this is happening. Once again, but like I said, everybody who is really expecting that you have to, there is paid content out there that is worth getting paid for. And if you actually want to support somebody for what he's doing, if you appreciate what he's doing so highly, and you want to donate something to him, I mean, in all honesty, just go to his fucking YouTube website, send him a private message and say, dude, please give me your PayPal address and donate him $10 if you want to. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Guys,
Can
I'll
I
be
just
back.
say,
Okay, Sandra, sounds good.
yeah, it's 12:30 now. I've got some things to do in real life, so I must leave you guys. It's absolutely been a pleasure to meet you guys. It's an absolutely great topic of conversation and done with people with common sense. So thank you to all in the side chat for having me, and thank you for. It was great to meet you guys.
Great to meet you too, buddy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, indeed. It's like I said, I met Vinny just a little while ago over on G-Mango's channel. Fantastic. You want to go over and check him out for sure. You've seen him on the outside there as well. So, Vinny, thanks very much for showing up tonight. It's always a pleasure, certainly sitting in the chat room with you.
All right, thank you.
So, you know, we kind of to reiterate. So we've been talking a little bit about the demonetization here, certainly this evening, and like I said, it's certainly important to a lot of different people for a lot of different things. Like I said before in the advertisement towards this upcoming show here tonight, is that there's people on the left, the far left on this, you know. Out there and they're very passionate about it. And I can't suggest that they're wrong, but I suggest that, you know, certainly there might be other things to consider. It's the only thing I could say. Then there are certainly people that are on the very far right of it, far left, far right. And then, of course, you got the people that are in the middle, you know, who say, yeah, you know, I can see the bad and I can see the, you know, the ugly with it too. So I don't know. Is there something we haven't considered thus far? Mark, you were going to say something earlier. Groove, what were you thinking there?
Well, yeah, I was about to say, well, when you approach it as a business and you think it's harming your income, then you really should approach it like a business does and diversify and not act like a broker that just puts all his money on one company and hopes that he makes the big money. It's like almost like that news story I read a few weeks ago. About that family father in the United States that just sold his property, his house, his everything just to buy Bitcoins. I mean, every smart guy would say that's not a smart move. I mean, it's a total gamble. And when you just bet all your horses on YouTube, and you're not thinking about diversifying what you have to offer by going to Instagram, by going and having a Facebook page, by having your own web page, by offering your own services, offering your own tutorials, your own content, your own ebooks, or even your merchandise. You see it with the big YouTube names too. They have their own merchandise. They have their own shirts. Diversify in every direction. I think that's the biggest advice I would want to give.
I'm absolutely with you, brother. And one thing that is really, really important to focus on, what people maybe seem to have lost contact to is they are acting on YouTube not like they are acting in real life. So if I wanted to start a business in real life, I'm setting up a business plan. I'm setting up backups. I'm setting up savings. I'm setting up, different channels of income, how to get customers and all the other stuff. In real life, everybody knows pretty much what to do to start a business and to make it grow. Or let's say not everyone, but these rules are basically there. And all of a sudden, people actually think on YouTube, these rules don't apply. What it is, you know, and they say, well, it's the internet, it's not real life. Well, no, it is fucking real life. There is a server farm out there that costs millions and millions of dollars just to run them, to store your videos. There is a humongous team of employees doing nothing but writing algorithms and doing the payments. And once again, coming back on the payments for those for the minor channels, if you get paid $1.20 a month, or let's say a week or a day, do you have any idea that how much it costs to send you that $1.20? How many people are sitting there? How many bookings have to be done? How many things? And everybody thinks it's automated. No, no, no. There are actually real people doing that, because some are checking it. Some are actually doing it. There's a bank transfer. There's just the electricity costs for paying you are humongous. So please don't get pissed because they say we gotta put a gap here. You know, or a cap. We got to put a cap here. From that cap, we're willing to spend the money and the effort, and under that cap, we ain't gonna do it. Nobody thinks about it. Everybody thinks that YouTube is just there, out of magic. You know, it popped up. Somebody had a great idea, put YouTube.com on it, and all works out of magic. Fucking hell no! It's a fucking business. Sorry for using cuss words, but I heard we're not monetizing.
Well, we ain't now. No, but and that's just it. I think that there has to be a common sense approach to this to some degree, and I think people are going to be certainly disappointed, but it probably should stop at the disappointment, you know, level. I think, and just say, okay, when I was mentioning the YouTuber that I was talking about before, I tried to get that person on. Certainly, they said one other thing. I think probably it's a boot in the butt, you know, in essence, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but to get going again, right? Which certainly, you know, all this chat, they come out here and put on a show on the Iceman channel, certainly that has been, you know, in hiatus for the most part for a couple of years. You know, we had one chat, which was, you know, kind of bringing back some superstars, and we had a chat, which was cool. But I've been kind of piggybacking on other chats. It's not because, you know, I don't want to have a chat. Looking at it from the perspective of, if you want to have a live chat, you have to have it on some kind of schedule that people can depend on, i.e. TR Prepper, Tuesday nights, you know, the Bull Ringer certainly, and again tonight in probably another 45 minutes or so. You're going to have, you know, Sunday night with the round table there with TR Prepper and gang. You know, so it's what volume number 117, I think what he's at, 117 shows, right? Bison went 52 shows, I think, something like that, before we kind of shut it down. It was a bit of a social experiment for myself to some degree, because I wanted to see what would be the reaction. I seen what other channels were doing, and I wanted to try that out. And it was a platform to gather people, like-minded people. And my hope was, with the Informed State of Mind, was not to actually get an echo chamber. People who would say, I know I am very much on the left side of this, or I am very much on the right side of this, and get those people into a room, right? Which I think we got a little bit of that tonight, which was certainly good. I would have loved to have somebody who was very firm on the other side and saying, no, the little guy's getting like it, and really hear from what they thought. They may have been able to contribute something that maybe we didn't consider, maybe. But, yeah. So having said that, I don't know if we can really say much more than that. I know Sandra stepped away briefly here. Hopefully she's kind of sandybagging in here and she can hear us. But I think we'll probably get to the point of actually wrapping this one up. And because we've probably talked all the different points on it for the most part. Normally these chats go for about 2 hours. But like I say, I was thinking an hour on this one. So we've got an hour and a half, which is pretty decent. Thanks to the people on the outside. We're going to finish up with some final thoughts with everybody. Sandra, are you there? Are you there and able to chit-chat yet? Or I don't think she is. She's just stepped away. So we may not be able to get an outro from her or some final thoughts. But Groove, sir, you have any final thoughts on this tonight?
Well, yeah, I still think do it for the passion. I think the passion should be paramount in all of it. And when that is your leading motivation, then the success will follow. And there is no need for whining or for thinking that you're entitled to anything. Just be you, and just deliver content that is actually creative and new and you. And that's what people want to watch in the end. And companies will follow that. And money will follow that passion.
Yeah, no, that's bang on exactly. Mark, scouting free, sir. Anything there?
Absolutely, with GrooveX, do what you like, enjoy doing it, and if you want to go from a hobby to a professional way, then start acting professionally. That's all I gotta say. Don't expect to get paid for just some fun. If it worked out for some people because they were lucky and they actually hit a nail on the head and they get it for what they do, don't be jealous, learn, and that's it. So yeah, stop whining, don't be butthurt, step up your game, or just have fun.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. I guess the final thought of my instance is just that. Be honest with yourself. Know that it's going to take some work. You're going to have to find that niche. You're going to have to find that thing that basically attracts people to your channel if you want it to grow. And if certainly your aspect is to, your ambition certainly is to make money, understand the parameters, understand who's really in control of that. And that being the employer, so to speak, you know what I mean, of your videos, so to speak, I guess. Maybe there's a better way of explaining it. But if all their rules and they can change them just about any time they want. If you don't like it, you can probably certainly find another platform. How many are there as big as YouTube? There's not one as big as YouTube. I did some looking on it, and it is one of the vast platforms for this. Certainly, there's another one I've just actually got on to, and that's through trueblitz.com, and that's TruthTube. I'm checking it out. I went over there and checked that out, so there's a plug for that, of course. And again, if you wanted to get out there and just have a talk with people and try to get some more attention to your channel, I think live chats is kind of where it is. This is real stuff, right? Is it what's going to build your channel? Don't know. You're going to have to find that out for yourself. And there's quite a few of them out there. We've got certainly some of the Boston there, the Massachusetts area, certainly not so much Boston, but in that area, you got the Quagmire, certainly you got the TR Prepper channel, you got the G Mangos channel, you got Tactical Tony, he's doing a few out there as well. These are the few that I've seen. You've got the gun chats that are going on as well. So I think for everybody out, it's a matter of finding that crowd. But be honest with yourself. You're going to have to do the work. And like I said, you just everybody else. But that's it. Thanks very much, guys, for jumping in tonight. Really cool chat. Sandra, like I said, if you don't make it back in, Sandra, certainly thank you for jumping back on, like I said, or back on here tonight. This is great. So good to see everybody. So thanks, guys. We'll leave it there. Have yourselves a good one, and be safe.
Take care. Bye.